Another quick update from Doozer shop, kind of a last minute, end of the evening kind of update, but bought a new grinder. I want to show it to you. Grinder is Brown and Sharpe 13 cylindrical universal grinder, and I got it apart. I got the work head over there. Thing is a late model machine. You can tell by the base it's a late model machine. There's no plinth on the bottom where the older ones had a little bit of a riser detail to the casting. The scraping on this machine is absolutely fabulous. And got the table off over here. Just doing a little bit of a cleanup and inspection on it. Found a few items. There's a little looseness in the hand wheel shaft. This hand wheel is fine. This is to advance the grinder wheel. This is the table feed box. Took it apart because there's a little slop in one of the bushings, not the one you see in the casting. But this is a 13 H for hand feed. It does not have power feed on the table. Usually this on-off button would have a gearbox selector lever, and then the buttons would be over to the right a bit more in that little blocked off compartment. But anyways, it had the hand wheel. It must have been cranked back and forth an awful lot. And I'll show you what made a new bushing here. This is the old one, and got the new one made up in there. And that's basically where that hand wheel goes. And there's another bushing inside. This is the, I guess, a counter shaft, and then at the other end it meshes with the pinion gear that goes on the table. But anyways, that's the bushing. That there. Take this plate off. I had to make a new bushing for this intermediate shaft, counter shaft, and then this is the main plate on the front where the hand wheel goes. So it's like a 2-speed hand gearbox, direct and like 5-to-1 or something. And these bushings are just whooped pretty badly. We can see if it's focusing on that or not. But had to regrind this area here because this was really tore up. I mean, this was just... I mean, it's loose now because I ground it, but also and then I also ground this end of the shaft. There's the oil slot, and that all fits together. And that's the clutch engagement plate. But anyhow, I'm getting that worked out. I did some turning on the Tsugami lathe over here. Piles and piles of bronze rather. I used aluminum, tin bronze, some tenacious stuff that I happen to have laying around. You can just see I've been busy here all day in Doozer's shop here. Had to do a few things. Had to true up my chuck jaws. I ground them the other day, so they're the hard jaws. I got them working really well. What I do here, I'll show you guys this. I put aside from drilling, I use the drill chuck for boring bars. I don't know if this is on autofocus. It's probably not. But anyways, that's a micro 100 boring bar. And boy, this thing cuts really nice solid carbide. And if I put it on center, I use it as just for drilling and center, center drilling. And there's a little stop on the side there that you hit, and it makes it on center. So yeah, I've been using my brass stock, and Oh, just piles of stuff going on here. So this machine came with a Sony digital readout and it's a hand feed. It's interesting. You might notice, oh boy, it's hard to see. Somebody wrote prototype in magic marker here. It says prototype. Kind of interesting. But this is a Brown and Sharpe number 13 universal tool cutter grinder, but I primarily got the wanted to do shafts, cylindrical grinding. They also, this is a 13H for hand feed. They also made one that is called the Brown and Sharpe 814, which is the same as this machine, except instead of the adjustable height wheel head, it's a fixed height. So this is the the adjustable up and down wheel head makes it a tool cutter grinder. If this was just a fixed where it didn't have the up down, then they'd call it the 814, which means it can grind an 8-inch shaft, 14 inches between centers. So late model machine. It was supposedly, I got the cover here, it was rebuilt, let's see, Micro Precision Inc. in Rhode Island, and there's the serial number. No, that's the phone number. The serial number is over here. Yeah. Say it's a later model machine. 525-13-2807. And I think I read somewhere in PM where John Oder commented they went from the 4-digit serial number to the 525-13, then the 4-digit serial number in like 1953. But I really don't know how old this is, but I think it's like in the early 80s. This is the axis readout for the grinding wheel head. And I got another readout on the table, but it was, some knuckle nuts must have lifted it at some point, and they just blew out the rod, the reader rod. And it's a magnetic pickup, and there's one wire in there that's broken. And if you put it in and hook it up, the display works for a little, and then you move it and it dies. So I'm gonna, even though it's smashed, I'm gonna resolder that one broken wire, see if it works, and then try to put it together. I might get lucky. This is a Sony. It's an older Sony magnetic readout. So interesting. This is from Kodak. Probably can't see that, in Rochester, New York. It's a late model machine. It's pretty cool. It's got an oil pump. There's the oil filter. I think this is the General Filter Company. I can't really tell. And if it's dripping, you got the sight glass there. You can kind of see the little spout is dripping. And then there's your level guy here. But there's a pump inside. Normally this would have a power feed motor, but this is just a pump on the inside, and it's just a regular 120 volt AC motor, and all that stuff. What I might do, actually, I like putting VFDs on my grinder motors. The red Boyer Schultz in the corner has a VFD on it, and that's nice for, you know, dressing the wheel slow and different stuff. I might move this panel up or something and just put a VFD on it, because that's just a contactor and that's all. Here's the other part of the gearbox I got all cleaned up, and all this stuff was in good shape. Just the what I made the two new bushings. So that worked out pretty well. I got to put it back together, and I'm cleaning it. I think I only ground rubber, like rubber rolls at Kodak or something. I don't know, but the only things I can find rubber dust on it, and had vacuum ports for the wheels. So really fortunate to have this. My buddy Jim in Grand Island led me onto this one. Bought it from him. Sweet machine. The scraping's like brand new. Just thought I'd give you the quick update from Doozer's Garage on my new machine. Bye.